And a good Friday afternoon to you, Roger Hill of Weathering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Upper level system here in the sort of tan colors here. This is 500 hectopascal thickness. Then we have another area of low pressure that's kind of pulling away, and that's the QUEIT system that's kind of been producing a little bit of a gusty wind this afternoon, this Friday afternoon. But we're going to see a surface area of low pressure that's going to be pulling across the region. It will develop and then work into the curl up into the Gulf of Maine. And it's cold enough, of course, interacting with this colder air mass. And looking at the temperatures, and you kind of get the picture here. Temperatures basically in the 20s just north of the Canadian border, dropping into the Great Lakes on a northwesterly flow. This originated up, of course, near the Arctic and really brutalized a good portion of eastern Canada and is in progress. And it's about to visit the northeast United States. And, of course, the upper plains have been seeing this and so forth, with temperatures well below normal. We could see readings here locally running during the day Saturday, 25 to 30 degrees below seasonal norms. Looking at European model, and what this is here, this is valid running about, this would be about 5 o'clock this evening. And here comes the first suggestion of a little bit of light snow. This will be a light to moderate snowfall, not a big deal. Area of low pressure, again, headed for southern parts of New England. You can watch it and see it intensify, 1001 hectopascal, 997, 994, 990 as it curls up toward New Brunswick, the Gulf of Maine, and so forth. But it's pulling down this pocket of colder air that's depicted by these blue lines here. This is some pretty juiced up cold, if you will, very cold conditions, and that's going to act convectively with some bursts of snow showers. There could even be a couple isolated lightning strikes in this. But this is what is valid now. This is running during the morning hours on Saturday, running about 11 o'clock. And this is valid at 2 in the afternoon. You can see that flares up across the state of Vermont. And the main area of low pressure, along with its shield of snow, pulls away into Maine. And incidentally, Maine and these areas up in the northern backbone of Maine into New Brunswick are really going to be the ones that are going to be under the gun the most with this particular storm system. But you can see that we continue with snow shower activity. This is valid now about 2 o'clock, excuse me, that's about 8 p.m. on Saturday evening. And then that should be the last of it, as it starts to wind on down and fall apart during the evening hours. And that blustery northwest flow with gradient winds that could be 35 to 45 mile per hour gusts, with some isolated 50 mile per hour gusts possible at some of the summits. That'll also be in play with these heavier bursts of snow showers working on through. So it'll be quite squally and well below normal in temperature during the day tomorrow. Things do improve for Mother's Day just a little bit as we get into the morning hours on about 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. on Sunday. Little bit of flurry activity in the far northern areas, and that's going to be about it. And then that eventually exits out of the region. This is valid about 8 p.m. on Sunday evening. And we start to see a little brush by here on Monday afternoon of just a little bit of rain showers from another little system that's going to kind of push across the region and develop. Worst case scenario, this could develop a little further to the north and bring us maybe a little bit of minor amounts of wet snow mixed in. I don't think it's going to happen. It looks like it's mostly going to be rain showers across southern parts of Vermont, and that area of low pressure exits pretty far wide right out to sea as it's taking the same track around this upper level low that's still parked in the vicinity here. Now eventually that's going to move on out. We get into better conditions for both Tuesday and into the day on Wednesday. And you can see as we get into Wednesday here, high pressure finally builds in across a good area of the eastern seaboard, kind of ridges in from the Ohio River Valley, but it's not a very strong area of higher pressure and so subject to change. The GFS and Canadian Ensemble data, this is the 3-hour quantitative precipitation forecast. You can see that the most of this entire period here is going to be with our system that comes in tonight. And looking at the total amount of QPF, it really doesn't amount to a heck of a lot. We're talking about 3/10 here on average with this black line. And, you know, with minor bouts of precipitation, that's going to raise as time goes on, looking at the QPF. And then in terms of precipitation type, well, this tells it all. It's all snow. We get into a position here where it would be a little bit more in the way of rain showers. and so forth. Very cold, anomalous air in our area. In terms of precipitation, it's not a big deal. We're looking at basically 1/4 of an inch, and the next is just 1/100 of an inch. And this is kind of where an area of higher pressure kind of sets up here, and the main storm track is going to be basically to our south as it's suppressed. This is Friday's high temperature. You can see the overnight lows and how cold it's going to be during the day tomorrow, Saturday. And then we have this a little bit of an uptick, a little bit of a downtick per the European, and then temperatures continue to ramp up gradually. Look at these anomalous temperatures. These are daytime highs over the next 5 days, and we're looking at 15 degrees below normal. And you can see it's even colder in parts of Canada here. 3 days later, here's the change. Running about 9 to 12 degrees below normal. And finally, the climate reanalyzer here shows that anomalous cold air that's kind of dropped in, and it's really yet to move into New England. The coldest of the cold is still north of the Great Lakes, and that's headed our way. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.